Ooh. Hello? Testing. Testing. Collapsing, collapsing. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 2. Collapsing, collapsing. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, everything is going good, so let's just get started. So, this is related to free running and parkour. So, besides that, I figure it's also going to talk about tricking. This is from the other past times I've been reading these Wikipedia articles. And alongside, there's gymnastics. So let's just get on a roll and just get reading. Gymnastics. Gymnastics is a sport that includes physical exercises requiring balance, strength, flexibility, agility, coordination, and endurance. The movements involved in gymnastics contribute to the development of arms, legs, shoulders, back, chest, and abdominal muscle groups. Gymnastics evolved from exercises used by the ancient Greeks that included skills for mounting and dismounting a horse and from circus performance skills. The most common form of competitive gymnastics is artistic gymnastics, which consists of, for women, wag. The events floor, vault, uneven bars, and beam. For men, mag, wag, mag, maga, waga. It consists of the events floor, vault, rings, pommel, horse, parallel bars, and horizontal bar. Okay. I wonder why it's a bit different where men could only do the pommel horse and women really can't. Who knows? The governing body for gymnastics throughout the world is the Fédération Internationale de Gymnastique, FIG. So, what is it, a French word? Let's quickly browse this. I don't know, it's a Swiss word. Oh. 8 sports are governed by the FIG, which includes gymnastics for all men's and women's artistic gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics, trampoline, including double, mini trampoline, tumbling, acrobatic, and aerobatic. Disciplines not currently recognized by FIG includes wheel gymnastics, aesthetic group gymnastics, men's rhythmic gymnastics, team gym, and Mokahaba. Gymnastics is a form of competition created by the European Union of Gymnastics. Okay. Then there's this one. Oh, there's actually a picture. Mokahaba is a traditional sport originating from the Indian subcontinent in which the gymnast performs aerial yoga postures and wrestling grips in concert with a vertical stationary or hanging one pole, cane, or rope. Oh, okay, so yeah, I did actually see these from public from time to time. Yet they don't recognize it. So, and when the field gymnastics, when it comes to the competition field, they don't include everything. So, yeah. Participants in gymnastics-related sports can include young children, recreational level athletes, and competitive athletes at varying levels of skill, including world-class athletes. Then there's the performing arts, what is categorized, aerobatics, ballet, circus skills, clown, dance. And then under general, it's just these. So, yeah. Gymnastics is a sport that includes physical exercise, just requiring all these. Now let's go to the contents. We have the entomology, history, then this whole section. Ooh, it's a good brief. 11 through 13th is just see also references and external links. However, in references, they actually have citations and sources. So that's a bit strange. It's usually its own category, but yeah. Alrighty. So I figured I'm gonna take it more slower than my last uh, stream, so I don't have to rush on learning about what the hell the electoral college is. I'm trying to cover everything in that nick of time, just because. Yeah. But with this, I could actually take somewhat of my time, especially trying to get a grasp of everything related to gymnastics. So let's go down to entomology. Entomology. The word gymnastics derives from the common Greek adjective gymnos. I don't know how to pronounce this. Let me highlight this. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce this. But let's go. Nevertheless, by the way of the relative verb gymnazo, whose meaning is to train naked, train gymnastic exercise, generally to train to exercise. The verb had its meaning because athletes in ancient times exercised and competed without clothing. I figured because of all sweating your literal balls out. Yeah. You have to get a competitive edge by just exercising naked. History. Gymnastics can be traced to exercise in ancient Greece, in Sparta and Athens. That exercise for the time was documented by Philostratus' work Gymnasticus. Yeah, I'm gonna ruin the Greek language with my pronunciation. Exercise in the gymnasium in latter dates prepared men for war. The original term for the practice of gymnastics is from the related verb, gymnazo, which translates as to exercise naked because young men exercising train without clothing. Oh, literal copy from here. In ancient Greece, physical fitness was a highly valued attribute in both men and women. It wasn't until after the Romans conquered Greece in 146 BC that gymnastics became more formalized and used to train men in warfare. Based on Philostratus' claim that gymnastics is a form of wisdom, comparable to philosophy, poetry, music, geometry, and astronomy. I figure just because it's an art and a way of life. Athens combined this more physical training with the education of the mind. At the Palestra, a physical education training center, the discipline of educating the body and educating the mind were combined, allowing for a form of gymnastics that was more aesthetic and individual, and which left behind the form that focused on strictness, discipline, the emphasis on defeating records, and focus on strength. So yeah. Frederick Kluber John, the father of gymnastics. Okay, yeah, we're going ahead. Don Francisco Almeros y Ondano was born in February 19th, 1770 in Valencia and died on August 8th, 1848 in Paris, or Paris. He was a Spanish colonel? Colonel? Oh, actually, I have a hard time pronouncing those. Okay, let's go with the Spanish colonel. And the first person to introduce educative. Wow, I'm actually learning more words than I did. Educative. That's actually a word. Huh. Introduced educative gymnastic in France. The German Frederick Ludwig John started the German gymnastics movement in 1811, which led to the invention of the parabars, rings, high bar, the pommel horse, and the vault horse. Germans Charles Beck and Charles Follen and the American John Neal brought the first wave of gymnastics in the United States in the 1820s. Beck opened the first gymnasium in the U.S. in 1825 at the Round Hill School in Northampton, Massachusetts. Flowen opened the first college gymnasium and the first public gymnasium in the U.S. in 1826 at Harvard College and in Boston, Massachusetts. Respectively, Neal was the first American to open a public gymnasium in the U.S. in Portland and Maine in 1877. Alrighty, hold up. Let me check my audio. Okay, everything is good so far. Now let's continue. The Federation of International Gymnastics, FIG, was founded in Liège in 1881. By the end of the 19th century, men's gymnastics competition was popular enough to be included in the first modern Olympic Games in 1896. From then on until the early 1950s, both national and international competitions involving a changing variety of exercises gathered on the rubric gymnastics that included, for example, synchronized team floor calisthenics, rope climbing, high jumping, running, and horizontal ladder. During the 1920s, women organized and participated in gymnastic events. The first women's Olympic competition was limited, only involving synchronized calisthenics and track and field. These games were held in 1928 in Amsterdam. By 1954, Olympic Games apparatus and events for both men and women have been standardized in modern format and uniform grading structures, including a point system from 1 to 15, and have been agreed upon. At this time, Soviet gymnasts astounded the world with highly disciplined, let me scroll down here, highly disciplined and difficult performances, setting a precedent that continues. Television that helps popularize and initiate a modern age of gymnastics. Both men's and women's gymnastics now attract considerable international interest, and excellent gymnasts can be found on every continent. In 2006, a new point system for artistic gymnastics was put into play with a scope or D score being the difficulty score, which as of 2009 is based on the top 8 high scoring elements in a routine, excluding vault. The B score or E score is the score for execution and is given for how well the skills are performed. Okay, dokie, let me move my mouse a bit. I'm going to bring up something in the tab. Also, yeah, I just had to grab a drink of water and see if everything is going good. Since my mic filter is interesting. Yeah, it's not. Actually, let me explain it. Okay. I think. Okay, this is way better. So apparently, when I just had to unplug and, unplug my mic, in OBS it got rid of all the filters I've set up. So it appeared. Yeah, it just appeared there, but now it doesn't. So that's a bit hectic. And shoot, I'm also having an issue trying to pop up to one of my websites. It looks like my connection has timed out. Yet I'm still streaming, so it could be just the website itself. Might be down, but yeah, I'll still try. Let me find something. Ugh. Ooh, something pop up. Yay. Now I gotta see if I can actually navigate the page. If not, then oop. Oh boy. Something's up. Yeah, and sure, this one actually popped up. Oh man, so sorry about that. This one's out of control. Anyhow, let me actually put in something in the meantime so I could see what's going up. Okay, let me. Is this playing alrighty? Okay, I'm gonna put this on the side. Let me make sure I turn down things at my end. And let me see if I could hear my in the end too. What the? Alrighty. Yeah, that's interesting. It's not even playing music from the browser. So this is what I put on. But it looks like in the stream it's not doing that, so I'm shoot. Yeah, now I gotta make sure just in this stream anywhere I go doesn't create any issues. So I just spend some of the time just on this Wikipedia article and stuff like that. Yeah, I did not have an issue like this before, so this is something new, so I gotta take up time to look it up some more. Oh boy, gotta love technology. At least I could hear it in my end. It's calming, relaxing. Yeah, it makes you be calm in the moment after stressing out. Oh, a de-stressor. Or de-stressor. So let's go through here. We talked just about the history, and we could just browse this picture. Earlier 20th century gymnastics in Stockholm, Sweden. So, oh my. This was exercise clothes back then. And this does not look like a dress. It actually looks like lederhosen, or not exactly lederhosen, but it sort of reminded me because was it baggy shorts. They're a bit high. But yeah. Now it's pretty different. Now it's just more. Oh, how they explain it? Everything's more. Exercise clothing is a little bit more tighter, less baggy, even revealing from a point. And I'm at fault at that too. So we are now on just some FIG recognized disciplines. The following disciplines are governed by FIG, so we could read through it. But remember, this is under the organization FIG, so gotta go up here to remember what it stands for. Federation Internationale de Gymnastique, so Federation International Gymnastics, or International Gymnastics Federation. Artistic gymnastics. Oh. Let me hydrate. Oh man, even pronouncing that is making me choke up. Artistic gymnastics Artistic gymnastics is usually divided into men's and women's gymnastics. Men compete on 6 events: floor exercise, pommel horse, steel rings, vault, parallel bars, and horizontal bar. While women compete on floor, vault, uneven bars, balance beam, and floor exercise. In some countries, women at one time compete on the rings, high bar, and parallel bars, for example, in the 1950s in the USSR. In 2006, FIG introduced a new point system for artistic gymnastics in which scores are no longer limited to 10 points. The system is used in the US for elite level competition. Oh, excuse me. Unlike the old code of points, there are 2 separate scores: an execution score and a difficulty score. In the previous system, the execution score was the only score. It was and still is out of 10, except for short exercises. During the gymnast's performance, the judges deduct the score only. A fall on or off the event is a 1 deduction in elite level gymnastics. The introduction of the difficulty score is a significant change. The gymnast's difficulty score is based on what elements they perform and is subject to change if they do not perform or complete all the skills, or they do not connect a skill meant to be connected to another. Connection bonuses are where deviation happens, most common between the intended and actual difficulty scores. As it would be difficult to connect multiple fight elements, it is very hard to connect skills if the first skill is not performed correctly. The new code of points allow the gymnast to gain higher scores based on the difficulty of the skills they perform as well as their execution. There's no maximum score for difficulty, as it can keep increasing as the difficulty of the skills increase. Alrighty, let me check the volume. Everything is going good. Whoo. Okay, how about now? That should be too loud. So let me just even it here. Double checking my stream. Everything is going smoothly. Alrighty. Let's get back to it. Artistic events for women. Vault. Okay, let me even this. Okay, this should be good. You can't read much here. It's like covering out like an eyebrow. But in the vaulting events, gymnasts sprint down a 25-meter, 82 feet runway, jump onto a springboard, or perform a round-off or handspring entry onto a springboard. Land momentarily inverted on the hands of the vaulting horse or vaulting table, pre-flight segment, then propel themselves forward or backward off the platform to a 2-footed landing, post-flight segment. Every gymnast starts at a different point on the vault runway depending on their height and strength. The post-flight segment may include one or more multiple saltos, somersaults, or twist movements. Okay, so I'm going to go back here to saltos. Saltos. A round-off entry vault called a Yurchenko is the most common vault in the higher levels in gymnastics. Let's see, what is it under? It's the name of both Pacific Vault and Vault family in artistic gymnastics. Oh, interesting. And also, that's it for saltos. Let me actually make a note of that. I could make up computer mouse. Saltos. I could. Oh, yeah. Scroll down here. So let's look for saltos. Yeah, we talked about here. We're down here. I made a note about saltos so I could search it up some other time. Not now, just in case anything goes up with computer. When performing a Yurchenko, gymnasts round off so their hands are on the runway while their feet land on the springboard. From the round off position, a gymnast travels backwards and executes a back handspring so that the hands land on the vaulting table. The gymnast that then blocks up the vaulting platform into various twists and or somersaulting combinations. The post-flight segment brings the gymnast to their feet, to her feet. In the lower levels of gymnastics, the gymnasts do not perform this move. These gymnasts will jump onto the springboard with both feet at the same time and either do the front handspring onto the vault or a round off onto the vault. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Here's a spring. It looks like a bit of a saddle, but I don't know. In 2001, the traditional vaulting horse was placed with the new apparatus, sometimes known as a tongue, horse, or vaulting table. Ah, so it says it here. The new apparatus is more stable, wider, and longer than the older vault horse, approximately 1 meter in length and 1 meter in width, giving gymnasts a larger blocking surface. This apparatus is thus considered safer than the vaulting horse used in the past. With the addition of this new, safer vaulting table, gymnasts are attempting more difficulty in dangerous vaults. So that's where it starts getting more. Start seeing more vaults being more extreme than compared to the old Vantage ones, where people just simply just do vaults and that's it. It's a bunch of tricking throughout midair while keeping in mind of the score they will receive. Because this is still under FIG, so yeah. Uneven bars. On the uneven bars, the gymnast performs a timed routine on two parallel horizontal bars set at different heights. These bars are made of fiberglass covered in wood laminate to prevent them from breaking. In the past, bars were made of wood, but the bars were prone to breaking, providing an incentive to switch to newer technologies. The width and the height of the bars may be adjusted to the size needed by individual gymnasts. In the past, the uneven parallel bars were closer together. The bars have been moved increasingly further apart, allowing gymnasts to perform swinging, circling. Yeah, that's circling. Traditional and release moves that may pass over. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. You can't visually see what I'm doing, but I'm just like taking off my socks because mine. So I could get a bit more relaxed and try to get any feeling from my feet. Yeah, this feels comforting. Hydrate. Because I'm always was told to hydrate, then rehydrate. You never forget that. So, yeah, we worry went this, then we run to uneven vaults. So, juniors may also use. No, we're not here. More difficult and dangerous vaults. Alrighty, gymnasts on uneven bars. So let me just go with uneven bars. And let me put it up here so people can see it. Alrighty. Uneven bars. On the uneven bars, the gymnast performs a timed routine on two parallel horizontal bars set at different heights. These bars are made of fiberglass covered in wood laminate to prevent them from breaking. In the past, bars were made out of wood, but the bars were prone to breaking, providing incentive to switch to newer technologies. The width and height of the bars may be adjusted to the size needed by the individual gymnast. In the past, The uneven parallel bars were closer together. The bars have been moved increasingly further apart, allowing gymnasts to perform swinging, circling, transitional, and release moves that may pass over. So you can see the process there here, and somewhat under and between the two bars. At the elite level, movements must pass through the handstand. Gymnasts often mount the uneven bars using a springboard or a small mat. So I do see this mats here, but I'm not sure if that's what they're referring to. Gymnasts may use chalk, MgCl23, and grips, a leather strip with holes for fingers to protect hands and improve performance when performing this event. The chalk helps take the moisture out of the gymnast's hands to decrease friction and prevent rips, tears of the skin of the hands. Dowel drips help gymnasts grip the bar. So there is some chalk residue here. So yeah, this is what they were referring to as gymnasts may use chalk residue on grips a leather tip with holes, fingers to protect hands and improve performance. Alrighty, now there's the balancing team. The gymnast performs a choreographed routine of up to 90 seconds in length, consisting of leaps, acrobatic skills, somersaults, turns, and dance elements on a padded beam. The beam is 125 centimeters, 4 feet 1 inch from the ground, 5 meters, 16 feet 5 inch long, and 10.16 centimeters, 4 inches wide. The stationary object can also be adjusted to be raised higher or lower. The event requires balance, flexibility, grace, poise, and strength. Floor. The event in gymnastics performed on the floor is called floor exercise. The English abbreviation for the event in gymnastics scoring is FX. In the past, the floor exercise event was executed on the bare floor or mats such as wrestling mats. The floor event now occurs in a carpeted 12 meter times 12 meter square, usually consisting of hard foam over a layer of plywood, which is supported by springs, generally called a spring floor. This provides a firm surface that provides extra bounce or spring when compressed, allowing gymnasts to achieve greater height and softer landing. After a composed skill, gymnasts perform a choreographed routine up to 90 seconds in the floor exercise event. Depending on the level, the gymnast may choose their own routine. However, some levels have compulsory routines where default music must be played. Levels 3 to 6, the music is the same for each levels along with the skills with the routine. Within the routine. However, recently, the levels have switched. Now, levels 6 through 10 are optional levels, and they have to and they get to have custom routines made in the operational levels. Levels 6 to 10, there are skill requirements for the routine, but the athlete is able to pick her own music without any words. The routine should consist of tumbling passes, series of jumps, leaps, dances, elements, acrobatic skills, and turns or pivots. On one foot, a gymnast can perform up to 4 tumbling passes, each of which usually includes at least one flight element without hand support. Each level of gymnastics requires the athlete to perform a different number of tumbling passes. In level 7 in the United States, the gymnast is required to do 2 through 3, and levels 8 through 10, at least 3 through 4 tumbling passes are required. Because this is under scoring. And then there's also scoring. Scoring for both junior Olympic and NCAA level gymnastics usually uses a 10 scale. Levels below level 9 starts from 10 automatically if all the requirements for an event are met. Levels 9 and 10 in NCAA gymnastics also start below a 10 and gymnasts require bonus points through the connection of skills to increase their start value to a 10 during routine. Deductions will be made by judges for flaws in form of technique. For skill, an example steps on landing on flexible feet can range from 0.5 through 1 off, depending on the severity of the mistake. Alright, let's see how much I got left because it looks like there's still a lot more under this. Now let's go to the contents because we were up here and now we're under 3.1.2 artistic events for men. So yeah, you have the other disciplines here. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To be honest, I'm way more interested with gymnastics when it comes to performing certain skills rather than how they implement it in the competition way. Because I mean, for an average schmo, I prefer the recreational idea of it versus the competition, especially when it came to how a person can conduct these moves in certain conditions rather than a stable set condition for competitions, because usually they always look at the second competition condition to make sure everything goes through. It's a bit interesting, but once you get to the scoring part and just how they measure it, it loses me a bit. But I could at least say, I'm gonna scroll back to the contents here, but at least I could say under that, hey, this is something people who do gymnastics, especially for a living, know this from the back of their mind and their background. Look at the competition side, especially when it comes to organizations, because so me understanding this is it's a sports that requires you to be in special facilities to conduct it. Not really conducted outside much, but because and this is my opinion, it has to do with unsafeness and also people believing that's not the best way to do exercise and stuff like that, which, I mean, it's a different mindset versus what I looked at when I came to parkour, because originally when I started learning about parkour, I wanted to learn more about it because it made me fascinated with this is a sport, not officially sport, but more of a set of fitness, health, exercises that deal with flexibility and stuff like that. I mean, people will do this recreationally. Until I learned that it's a way of life to many of the people, not just looking at it in a philosophy sense, but also living by it, and also how it spreads and stuff like that. I mean, that's why it never gravitated me much compared to gymnastics, but because of me learning about parkour, I started learning more about gymnastics. So yeah, don't worry. As it's showcased here, once we get out of FIG, there's still talks about other disciplines and stuff, which, up here they actually do not recognize, which is a little off-putting, but that's about competition. It's on organizations that focus on the competition field and stuff. They don't necessarily look at that other exercise works of it. But yeah, let's just trudge through here to athletic men. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see the guy here. Let's just keep this in the background. Artistic, artistic events for men. Floor. Male gymnasts also perform a 12-meter times 12-meter springboard. A series of tumbling passes are performed by demonstrate flexibility, strength, and balance. Strength skills include circles, scales, and press handstands. Men's floor routines usually have multiple passes that have a total between 60 through 70 seconds and are performed without music. Unlike the women's event, rules require the male gymnast touch each corner of the floor at least once during their routine. Pommel horse. A typical pommel horse exercise involves both single leg and double leg work. Single leg skills are generally found in the form of scissors, a element often done on the pommels. Uh, Double leg work, however, in the main staple of this event. The gymnast swings both legs in a circular motion, clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on their preference. Excuse me. And performers such skills on all parts of the apparatus to make the exercise more challenging. Gymnasts will often include variations on a typical circling skill by turning, moors and spindles, or by straddling their legs, flares. Routines end when the gymnast performs a dismount, either by swinging his body over the horse or landing after a handstand variation. So yeah, let's talk about this. Let me pull it up and stuff like that. Such flexibility. Good thing he doesn't have a wedgie or his pants going off. Do. Personality rights warning. Although this work is really nice. Oh, okay. Whoop. Let's go back here. But yeah, this goes with the whole reason why they actually do this is supposed to represent the ancient Greeks dismantling maneuver of a horse during combat. So at least I actually understand part of the reasons why they do these exercises. Not for the competition aspect, but it had a history. Now let's go to steel rings. The not the wings, the wings of liberty, the chicken wings of death. The rings, steel rings, not onion rings. the rings from Sonic. Oh god. The rings are suspended on a wire cable from a 0.75 meters from the floor. The gymnast must perform a routine demonstrating balance, strength, power, and dynamic motion while preventing the rings themselves from swinging. At least one static strength move is required. From gymnasts may include 2 or 3. A routine ends with a dismount. Okay, let's see if the mic is... Dude, yeah. Vault. Gymnasts sprint down a runway, which is a maximum of 25 meters in length. Before hurtling onto a springboard, the gymnast is allowed to choose where they start on the runway. The body position is maintained while punching, blocking using only a shoulder movement. The vaulting platform. The gymnast then rotates to a standing position. The advanced gymnasts multiply twists and somersaults may be added before landing. Success vaulting depend on the spread of the run. The length of the hurdle, the power a gymnast generates from the legs and shoulder girdle, the kind of static awareness in the air, how well they stuck the landing, and the speed of rotation in the case of more difficult and complex faults. Parallel bars. They're parallel. Yeah. Something's up with my tongue. Okay, welcome everyone to my SMR. Today I'm going to be slurping water. Okay. Enough sexy time. Power bars. Men. Yeah, this is where we left off. Okay, yeah, we went through here. So, If that's the case, let's go down here. Gotcha. Parallel bars. Men perform on two bars, executing a series of swings, balances, and releases that require great strength and coordination. The width between the bars is adjustable, but depend upon the actual needs of the gymnast and usually 2 meter high. Horizontal bar. A 2.8 centimeter thick steel or fiberglass bar raised 2.5 meters above the landing area is all the gymnast has to hold onto as he performs giant swings or giants forward or backward revolutions around the bar in the handstand position. Release skills, twists, and changes of direction by using all the momentum from giants and then releasing at a proper point. Although height can be achieved for spectacular dismounts, such as a triple back salto, leather grips are usually used to help maintain a grip on the bar. As with women, male gymnasts are also judged on all their events, including their execution, degree of difficulty, and overall presentation skills. Alrighty, now we're down to rhythmic gymnastics. According to the FIG rules, only women compete in rhythmic gymnastics. Well, okay, I can't. You're judging the color of my eyes and voice on what I can't and can't perform to show off to my friends. Oh, okay, I see you, Fig. Forget you. This is a sport that combines elements of ballet, gymnastics, dance, and apparatus manipulation. The sport involves the performance of 5 separate routines with the use of 5 apparatus: ball, ribbon, hoop, clubs, rope on a floor area, with a much greater emphasis on the athletic rather than the acrobatic. There are also group routines consisting of 5 gymnasts and 5 apparatus. I am not pronouncing right. Of their choice. 5 apparatuses of their choice. Rhythmic routines are scored out of the possible 30 points. The score for artistry, choreography, and music is an average with a score for score for difficulty of the moves and then added to the score for execution. International competitions are split between juniors under 16 by their year or of birth and seniors for women 16 and over again by their year of birth. Gymnasts in Russia and Europe typically start training at a very young age, and those of their peak are typically in the late teens, 15 through 19, or early 20s. Large events on the sport are Olympic Games, World Champions, European Champions, World Cup, and Grand Prix Series. The first World Champions were held in 1963 with the first appearance at the Olympics in 1984. So yeah. Let me look at the Grand Prix. So an annual competition tournaments in rhythmic gymnastics open to athletes from all over the globe. Okay, dokie. And as you can see here, we can see the flexibility of a Russian. Oh man, it's Russian and I can't pronounce their name at all. So let's try to pronounce it. Rhythmic gymnast Adrian Tachanka. Let me say it again. Irene Tachanka stretching and her warm up before practice. LMG mounted, locked and loaded. Rhythmic gymnastics apparatus. Ball. The ball is made of either rubber and synthetic materials. Oh my god. No wonder. Okay, I have my thoughts. I still have like 5 minutes. Let's go through here just to finish this up. It is from 18 to 20 centimeters in diameter. and must have a minimum weight of 500 grams. The ball can be of any color and should rest in the gymnast's hand, not the wrist. Fundamental elements of the ball routine include throwing, bouncing, and rolling. The gymnast must use both hands and work on the whole floor area while showing continuous flowing movement. The ball emphasizes the gymnast's flowing lines and body difficulty. Hoop. A hoop is a apparatus in rhythmic gymnastics and may be made of plastic or wood, providing that it retains its shape during the routine. The interior diameter is from 51 through 90 centimeters, and the hoop must weigh a minimum of 300 grams. The hoop may be a natural color or the partial or fully covered by one or several colors, and it may be covered with adhesive tape, either of the same or different color of the hoop. Fundamental requirements of a hoop routine includes rotation around the hand or body and rolling, as well as swings, circles, throws, and passes through and over the hoop. The routines in hoop involve mastering both apparatus handling and body difficulty like leaps, jumps, and pivots. Ribbon. The ribbon is made of satin or another similar material, cloth of any color, and may be multicolored as well as have designs on it. The ribbon itself must be at least 35 grams, 1 ounce, 4 through 6 centimeters, 1.6 through 2.4 in width, and for senior category, in a minimum length of 60 meters, 20 inch, 5 meter, 16.25 inch for juniors. The ribbons must be in one piece. The end that is attached to the stick is double for a maximum length of 1 meter, 3 inches. This is stitched down both sides. At the top, a very thin reinforcement or rows of machine stitching for the maximum length of 5 centimeters is authorized. The extremity may end in a strap or have an eyelet, a small hole edge with a bottom hole stitch, or a metal circle. Metal circle. The rib attaching the ribbon. The ribbon is fixed into a stick by means of supplement attachments such as a thread, nylon cord, or a series of articulated rings. The attachment has a maximum length of 7 centimeters, 2.8 inches, not counting the strap or metal ring at the end of the stick where it will be fastened. Compulsory elements for the ribbon includes flings, circles, snakes. It's not snacks. Oh, I think I'm hungry. Shoot. Yes, apparently me looking at this, I imagine snacks. And spirals. That's what she's doing. Spiral, not snacking. And throws. Is required a high degree of coordination to form the spiral circles, as any knots which may accidentally form the ribbon are penalized during a ribbon routine. Large, smooth, and flowing movements are looked for. Let's go through here. So when you go performing an altitude balance in the ball thing. Ah, shoot, I got a minute left. Damn. Oh, man. I gotta see what I can do. Alrighty. You have the clubs and you have the rope. And for this sake, I'm not going to be able to do this justice. Clubs, multi-piece clubs are the most popular clubs. The club is built onto an internal rod. And rope, this apparatus may be made of hemp or a synthetic material which retains the quality of lightness and suppleness. Yeah, they great emphasis on the objects and what they have to perform, especially when it came to, again, a proper score to do their performance and stuff. But I mean, the way I wanted to look at gymnastics and stuff like that is more of how the person will move their body and not in a set competition, like looking at things in the micro level, but look at how they could perform in different ways. But anywho, I'm going to talk more about that because I'm pretty much running out of time. Most of it was figure out stuff. But hey, this is my routine, and I got several other routines I want to stick with. And there's always next time. So, take care, and I'll have a good night.